So was Christmas all right?
Yeah, it's all right. It wasn't too bad, mate. We kids enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like you say, I don't know if you know, but I lost my cousin. My cousin, to be honest, my closest cousin, really, died. No, he died early December. So Christmas was a bit like, don't get me wrong, it's all right. It's all right, but he's normally round at Christmas, and obviously my nan and that is just a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I think everyone's feeling it with regards to family and stuff, aren't they? And it's the one time that normally everybody gets together, isn't it?
Yeah. And like you say, obviously it was a struggle getting together anyway, with obviously what was going on, and then obviously having a loss in the family. Like you say, a significant loss as well, really. Which was made it a little bit. But again, the actual day, the morning was nice. The kids enjoyed it, so.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. I guess the current situation means that you're training from home quite a bit, are you?
Yeah. Well, like I say, I caught COVID as well. I caught COVID back end of November, beginning of December. But I caught COVID, so that put me out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't feel bad. I wasn't ill, to be fair, but I had a couple of days where I felt half dodgy. But I did my 2 weeks quarantine, and then I got back into the gym. And then the day after that happened with my cousin. So again, that put me out again for another few weeks. And I've sort of been back in the gym now. I don't know. This is my second week back in the gym. Really, I had like 6 weeks off, so I'm just at that getting fit again, basically.
Yeah. How have you been faring with the boys at home then? Have you been channeling your inner teacher?
Nah, I don't do that. I don't do none of that. Neither does she, to be fair.
Yeah.
But my missus is, she just started a new. Well, it's an old job, to be honest, but she started back, and she's like a care worker.
Yeah.
So the kids are still going to school anyway.
Right, I've got you.
What I mean, so the kids are at school. So nothing's really changed. We've gone into this full lockdown, if you like, now, but nothing's really changed for us because, like I say, the kids are still at school. I'm still training, and that's all we're doing anyway.
Yeah, so that's it.
Nothing's really changed.
Yeah. Obviously, it's been a difficult and frustrating period of time for yourself with not fighting, like seeing that fight with McCalkin sort of fall through. Have you had any offers since that have tempted you?
Well, no, like I say, it's no secret. Obviously, Joe and Eddie, Eddie really had a fallout with Joe. And like I say, Eddie did send me an offer. He sent me a 4-fight offer that we replied to. Never heard anything back. And like I say, that was the last thing I knew. He sent me an offer. Kind of didn't turn it down as such. Kind of half turned it down, but then asked if there was any other options or anything else, or is there any other offers, or and I never heard anything back. And then the next thing I heard was he wasn't working with Joe Gallagher at this time. I mean, that's as far as I knew. That was all that I got told last year, and that was it. So I was left on the sidelines. I just kept training, just kept trying to stay positive. Thinking something will come up eventually, and then then I caught COVID, and then obviously I had family tragedies and things like that. So, the back end of the year just ended worse than it started, to be fair. But again, now just a case of just getting fit again, getting ready to go again in case I do get something. Joe's obviously my manager, and Joe's obviously he'll be doing what he's doing. So hopefully something will come up. I don't know whether it'll be with Eddie or whoever it might. I don't know. I'm open to anything, to be honest, because at the end of the day, I've been out the ring a long time, and I haven't got, I haven't got too much longer to waste, have I? So it's not like I'm getting any younger. But I'm not too worried about the age side of things, because I'm fresh as a daisy. You know, I really am fresh as a daisy, and my training up until, like say, stopping training 6-7 weeks ago, I'd never been so fit in my life. Never, ever been so fit in my life. So, you know, I got no worries on that side of things. But, you know, like I say, sometimes things, you know, just got to crack on, because again, time doesn't wait for any man, and it's certainly not waiting for me.
Yeah, I think it's hard as well, isn't it? Because people that are on the fringe of world titles, like people like yourself, those offers are more difficult to be made financially viable, aren't they, at the minute? So, I mean, there's been lots of domestic scraps and stuff, but it's hard to get those title fights and those big fights rolling, isn't it?
Yeah, but like you say, like on the verge of world titles and things like that. But when it's all said and done, really, I mean, I ain't really on the verge of anything, because I've not fought for like 20 months, you know, and, you know, people don't want to fight me, regardless of what anybody says. They don't want to fight me,
Yeah.
you know. And like I say, a friend of mine said the easiest way to deal with somebody is by nullifying them and just shutting them out. And that's what it seems to me that it's happening, or they tried to make happen. Let's just not worry about him, just shut him out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just shut him out, and he'll eventually go away, and he'll be too old, and, you know, that problem will be gone.
Yeah.
So, or we can pretend, you know, we'll send an offer, we'll send some kind of offer and pretend that we want the fight, and we've offered him the fight and this, that, and the other. But, you know, there's you know, you hear about it all the time. Things not happening, and well, you got offered this or you got offered that, but, you know, people don't hear about the whole story or the full story, or they just hear what people say at the end of the day, and
I think,
you know, it is what it is.
The interesting point is, even though you've been inactive, the other sort of British light heavies that have fought, people could argue that, having seen them now, you're actually got a stronger argument to be top of the pile, having seen what the others have got to offer.
It's mad that it's mad, really, because my last 3 fights, like, so I went and boxed Buglioni, you know, demolition, 90 seconds. Went and had a life and death 4-round shootout with Beterbiev, a pound for pound top 10 fighter. Then went and fought a world level contender in Shawnee Monahan, and did what I did to him in 3 rounds. You know, there ain't one British light heavyweight that's looked that impressive.
No.
Yeah, I never got the recognition, or I never got, like you say, but then I've had, like, say, 20 months out of the ring, and now I'm getting the recognition for it, which is strange. It seems strange to me. Like you say, you know, the only positive over the last 20 months is the fact that, you know, people still are talking about me.
Yeah.
People still want to see me, and people, seems like the British fans have kind of realised what they're missing with me being out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it seems like a lot of them are excited to see me back, and you know, because they all know that I bring excitement, and, you know, I bring knockouts and I bring power. Like you say, there's not a light heavyweight in this country that brings explosive power like I do.
No.
And like you say, I think everyone's excited to see me back, which hopefully, you know, I can get back this year with a bit of luck.
Definitely. How did you? I know you don't watch an awful lot of boxing, but were you surprised by the Arthur versus Yard fight when you saw it?
No, not really. To be honest, not really. If I'm honest, I didn't really know who would win. I think if I had to choose, I probably would have gone with Yard. More so because listening to others rather than myself, I wasn't surprised that Arthur beat him at all, because Lyndon Arthur can box. You know, he's very good. He's very good. You know, and Yard's got a lot of good things. He can punch. He's strong. He's got a nice style. When things go all his own way, he does look the part. But I always knew that Yard wasn't as good as what people thought it was. And like I say, I think Lyndon Arthur showed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. We've spoken a little bit about the domestic scene and the boxers in Britain, but also people talk about the possibility of you fighting a few internationally acclaimed fighters like Sullivan Barrera, and the one that crops up a lot is Joe Smith Jr. Are any of those fights ones that interest you?
Yeah, massive. I mean, Joe Smith, I'd love to fight Joe Smith because, one, obviously he's going to fight for the world title and probably win that. So obviously that's a fight that I'd love to take. It's a fight that was supposedly going to be made back in 2019. You know, before I got the injury, it was talks that I was going to fight Joe Smith back in New York again, but there was going to be Bivol. There's been talks of Bivol. There's been talks of Joe Smith, but it's all just been, you know, talks. Nothing ever seems to materialise. But yeah, Joe Smith, I think me and Joe Smith's a fight that excites people because we both obviously can punch. We both don't like to take a step back, and I think it is a fight that stylistically makes for a real exciting fight. And that's a fight that I'd love to make because it excites me. It would it's one of them big exciting fights that everybody would be excited about, and you know that it's one of them, another memorable kind of thing that could happen in my life and my career that, you know, down the road you think, oh, I was involved in that, you know. And that is definitely a fight that really excites me, and I would love to happen at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I think the style is what people talk about all the time, that would gel in that kind of fight. But yeah, I was just going to ask you, obviously you've not fought during this period of sort of, well, the pandemic and stuff. Have you seen any of the behind closed doors fights and some of the unique setups in the studios and stuff? And would you have liked to have experienced that sort of different aspect?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have bothered me or affected my performance in any way because I'm like, you know, I had 50, 60 international fights as an amateur where you're fighting in different countries and there's probably 15, 20 people in the place. I've fought in sheds, I've fought in empty halls. It's something that I'm used to. And I do feel as though I'm one of these kind of kids that I'm a chilled out kid. So nothing bothers me whether there's 50,000 people or there's 50 people or there's 0 people. Do you know what I mean? It is what it's a fight at the end of the day. But again, without doing it and experiencing it, you never do really know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have bothered me. And yeah, of course, I would have liked to have got a fight, but you know, it didn't work out. You know, it didn't work out, and you know, I never got one. So, but hopefully, I can't see crowds coming back for a while yet. No. So, I mean, I am back training, and I am getting myself ready. So I'm ready if something does come. So hopefully, I will still get the chance to fight. And like I say, I want to fight sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I know from speaking to you previously that you definitely adopt the mantra of stay ready, and I mean, you're never out of shape. You know, you're always busy in the gym. Do you feel that's really important in terms of what you just said there? If an offer was to come, you believe in always staying ready to step in when it comes?
Yeah, definitely. And again, that and I think longevity as well. I think if you keep yourself in good shape all the time and you live a healthy lifestyle, which I have done since being a young kid, you know, I've never been out drinking. I've don't get me wrong, a few times I've put quite a bit of weight on, but only 2 or 3 times I've done that. So, like I say, I've never touched drugs or anything like that, and like I say, I've always been fit all throughout my life. So I do think that helps to keeping yourself at that level for a longer period of time. But again, the way it is now and the way things are, even before the pandemic and the way boxing's been kind of over the last few years, it's a thing you stay ready because you never know when you might get that call or someone might pull out and, you know, there's a big fight happening and a guy gets injured or do you want to jump in? And if you're not ready, you can't say yes, can you?
That's true. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I've had this. No. I've had this mentality, like say, over the last couple of years, or since and it hasn't worked out for me. I mean, 2020, I genuinely lived 2020 more disciplined than I've ever lived in my life, ever. I've never, ever been so disciplined in my life with eating, sleeping, training, everything. And I did get the benefits from it. I mean, I really did feel the benefits, and I was a different beast in terms of the physical things I could do and the training, and I was getting PBs on everything. But I got nothing out of it, you know, which was you know, it was hard, really. It was gutting, you know. Finishing the year, I was thinking I did all that for nothing as such, you know. And then at the end of it, I caught COVID, and then I thought, what was it all about? But it's one of them, and you know, sometimes things don't work out, and all I do now is start again and go again, and I will give 2021 as much effort, and I'll be as disciplined as I was in 2020, and hopefully I get something out of it. If I don't, well, who knows? Who knows? I just keep moaning at the missus like I do when I'm feeling down.
I mean,
I take it out on her. I moan at her all the time.
That's your outlet, is it? I mean, it's interesting you say that. I remember speaking before, and you did a lot of work, a lot of fundraising, a lot of challenging yourself physically and stuff during the early lockdown period. And I remember you saying you had to have a little bit of a chat with yourself, you know, to keep yourself and keep your mental health, so, you know, keep that on the straight and narrow. What advice would you give to some people that are maybe struggling?
I don't know, because like sometimes I can preach all these things like do this and do that. Like you say, be active. The biggest thing is routine and be active and exercise. Exercise is the biggest antidepressant there is, in my opinion. But you know, sometimes I can preach these things, and sometimes I don't practice them myself behind closed doors, because we all, like, some people can think, oh, Callum does this and Callum does that, and but I struggle myself, you know. Like you say, I behind closed doors, I have my moments, and I'll moan to, like I say, I'll moan to my missus, oh, what's it all about? What's the point? Oh, I've had enough, and things like that. So, but yeah, just when you're feeling down, know that it's just a moment. It'll pass. It'll pass tomorrow, or it'll pass the next day. Just know, regardless of how you feel, get out and do what you've got to do. Go for a walk, go for a run.
Yeah.
Go to whatever job you've got to do it, regardless of how you feel, because you will feel better for it, and it will pass. You know, over the last 6 weeks, you know, there's been 4 or 5 times where I've been sat on my settee, you know, miserable, quiet, thinking, what is it all worth it? You know, what's the point? How have I gone from boxing in America, beating Shawnee Monahan, to, in the fashion that I did, to being here, you know, 20 months later, without a fight, caught COVID, unfit, you know, 6 weeks of eating chocolate. You know, how have I got here? How have I managed to get here in 20 months?
Yeah.
You know, what's happened? And feeling sorry for myself. And, you know, so we all go through them times where you doubt, will it ever happen, or can I do it again? Can I get myself to that level of fitness once more? Can I keep doing this? But I think it's normal. I think you've got to realise it's normal to feel that way, and just crack on.
Yeah,
just crack on. It's easier said than done sometimes, but the bottom line is crack on, because no one's going to crack on for you, and no one cares either when it's all said and done. Apart from your family, don't get me wrong, people want to see you do well, and people would like to see you do well. But when it's all said and done, no one truly, really cares apart from your family. And obviously, you've got close people to you that do care. Obviously, that's a little bit disrespectful to a few close friends and things like that. But you know, just the general public, they don't care. You know, they don't care whether you crack on, whether you don't crack on, whether you fight again, whether you don't fight again, whether you can pay your bills, whether you can't. But again, like I say, you just have to suck it up and go. It's one of them, because if you don't, you'll just go into a deep hole and you'll stay there, and you just ruin your happiness and you ruin your chances as well. Because regardless, now I've not fought for 20 months. So if I don't try and keep trying, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I still might not do it, but the only difference is if I don't try, I'm definitely not going to do it.
Yeah.
But if I do try, I've got half a chance. So what have I got to lose? And that's kind of the mentality I've got. Even though I do have my downtime still, and I do have them times where, you know, like I say, I moan at my missus about it and say, "What's the point?" and this, that, and the other. And she, like I say, I don't get no sympathy off her. She just told me to shut up and get on with it.
I just wanted to speak briefly about Joe Gallagher. We touched on it earlier with his or Eddie's issue with Joe, or the twos and fro's, and some people have suggested that's obviously not helping your current situation. But are you a little bit surprised sometimes the criticism, particularly on social media, that Joe sometimes gets? Because from the outside looking in, it generally looks like he really supports and backs his fighters all the time. That's all he's looking out for, isn't it?
Yeah, people. What people do is they'll hear one thing or they hear another thing, and they make an assumption, and they haven't got a clue, you know. So what my point is all the time with, so you get people that make bad comments, or they don't like a certain person. But how can you make a comment or not like a person if you don't know them? You've never met that person. You don't know anything about that person. And that's the thing, you know. But it is what it is. I think it comes with success. You know, Joe's one of the most successful coaches in Britain presently, and probably ever. You know, ever. He's one of the most successful coaches ever from Britain. So with success, you know, becomes haters. People are always looking for someone to blame. When you know, all Joe does is try his hardest for his fighters, and he doesn't like, I want to say back down, but he's straight. He says it as it is, how he sees it. You know, like you say, he's not faults. So you can't really fault that, can you? In my opinion. And again, people don't know. You know what I mean? People don't know. They make assumptions, and they make comments about things what they don't really know about. You know, but that's just human nature. That's sport, and that's the same with football. Or you see it all the time, don't you? You see Premiership footballers, and you'll see people slagging them off, saying how crap they are, and he shouldn't be playing here, and he shouldn't be playing there, and he's crap, or they say if it was easy, everybody would do it.
While we're laid on the sofa.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if Joe Gallagher, if it was easy, what Joe Gallagher does, everybody would be Ring Magazine Coach of the Year.
That's right.
You know, everybody would have won world titles with the fighters. Everybody would have had like the British record for most unbeaten run as a coach. You know, if like say if it was easy, do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't judge people when you've not done what they've done.
Exactly.
But again, you know, that's just people judge, don't they? And you'll never stop that.
They do, unfortunately, and like you said, his CV and his record speaks for itself. And he's had quite a few fighters out in the past 12 months, Burton and Tasha Jonas, and obviously Callum Smith recently. Just touching on Callum Smith there's a little bit of speculation that he might move up to light heavy. A, do you think that's a possibility? And B, having seen him obviously close up many a time, how do you think he would fare in that division?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a massive possibility, but that's something that I've not actually spoke to Callum about that since obviously the fight. But yeah, I'm sure, you know, he's very tall. He's very tall. You know, he's big for the weight. But again, that's down to Callum, isn't it? That's down to him and his decision. That's not really nothing to do with me. But I think I think he'd be as effective at light heavy as he was at super middle as well. Do you know what I mean? It's only half a stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a massive. It's not like it's a light heavy to cruiser jump, where it's a stone and a half or whatever. It's only half a stone. So, yeah, I think he might do. But again, he might not, because there's still big fights out there for him at 168 as well.
Yeah.
You know, and then people are quick to jump on his loss, but I mean, he lost to Canelo, and Canelo's very good.
He's a once in a
I was
lifetime.
impressed. I have to be honest. You know, I was very, very impressed with Canelo. I didn't expect Canelo to be that effective and that good against a proper super middleweight fighter in his prime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he really was, and I had nothing. All I can say is, he lost to the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
At any weight.
I think most people would concede that. Like you say, he's a special fighter, isn't he? Just before I let you go, mate, I know we're relying on other factors and stuff, but in a perfect world, what would the rest of this year look like for you? 6
fights. 6 fights, 6 knockouts, and £5 million. Nah, I mean, like you say, perfect world. I'd like to have 4 fights. I mean, but let's be honest, I'm talking crazy, because I think I've only had 5 fights in the last 6 years. Do you know what I mean? But 3, I'd be very happy if I got 3 fights.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. But my number one goal right now is to get myself fit again. I don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty fit, but I mean, back to where I was 6-7 weeks ago. Because I say I really was flying. And 6 weeks ago, I would have jumped in the ring with anybody in the world, and I'd have fancied my chances.
Yeah.
So I just want to get myself back to that level of fitness, physically and mentally as well.
Yeah.
And just, it'll be what it'll be. I've kind of got to the point where I don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to lose anymore.
Yeah.
So anything's a bonus. And if nothing happens in the next 6 months, I'll start looking for a job.
I'm sure it'll happen for you, mate. And when it does come along, I'm sure it'll be a successful year for you. And I
hope so. And I think I do believe as well, if and when I do get out, it'll be I'll be my usual self. There'll be none of this ring rust, like he's had 600 days, 700 days out, or whatever it is. I'll be my usual self. I'll be explosive. I'll be exciting, and I'll be trying to knock whoever it is out. And people will be like, he's back, and they'll be pleased I'm back.
Yeah, I don't doubt it for a minute, mate. Thanks ever so much, Callum. And
no worries.
I give all my best to the family and everything as well, mate. Take care.
No worries. Nice.
Thank you ever so much,
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, all the best to you, mate. Take care, mate. I'll speak soon, yeah?
Take it easy, mate. Bye-bye.
Thanks ever so much, mate. See you later.
Yeah, bye.